Thank you for coming this evening. These sessions are going to be very restorative, so it's like yin yoga classes, okay, which doesn't mean they're not as effective as, say, a vinyasa class when we move a lot, but they're more suited to this period of time. So we're going to start standing and just to trace the meridians that we're going to focus our practices on for these coming times, which is kidney and bladder. So with your knees bent, come and with your index finger, try and find there's a point between, we'll look at it again when we're seated, between the big toe and the first and the second toe, and the ball of your foot, called bubbling spring, exactly. So we're going to touch that, and then from there draw along the inside of your foot around the ankle, and then all the way up the inside seam of your leg. So the other meridians here, but focusing into the groin, and then the meridian will resurface, come up alongside the navel, move out a bit, just where the ribs begin, where you feel the upper ribs, and then up here to the base of the collarbone. Okay, so that's kidney, and it's the yin meridian. So kidneys sort of absorb energy, they absorb the blood. And then bladder begins actually at the tear duct, so the inside of the eyes here, moves up to the inner side here where the eyebrows would touch if they could, and then up along the head all the way down the back to the occipital ridge, and then you can bring your fingers up and just trace down the back. So here the meridian splits into 4, but we'll just sort of trace it here, and then along down the back of your leg, and then down to the foot, outside edge of your ankle, and then to the little toe. Okay, so we always have, the meridians usually come in pairs. So one of them is the yin, the one that moves upward, and then the yang, the bladder, which moves outward. And these are going to be our focus for these sessions. So get your blanket and just sit onto the blanket. I'll put it sideways. So just that your hips are slightly elevated and it's easy for you to sit with your knees apart. And then we're going to start by just massaging this point. It's called kidney 1 or bubbling spring. Chinese are always very descriptive. So find the point on the ball of the foot between big toe and second toe on either foot. Find that with your thumb, and then just take a moment here to massage that point. So wherever your thumb sort of feels attracted to, just give that a little massage. As you do so, let your breath deepen, let your sit bones go into the ground, and just allow yourself here to settle into, allow the day to flow out with the out breath. And then place both feet together. Now here you could take your bolster if you wanted. So the pose is a forward fold where we're going to open the inside legs. A forward fold where we round the back and just let the head come down. So we're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. So you might want to place your head on something. I'll mind the time so you can relax into this completely. And as the head folds forward and becomes heavier, just release the tongue. If you have any pain just underneath your ankles, you might want to put something, so cushion them, maybe even with the sides of the mat. That's always a great idea. And cushion the outside edge of your ankles. And then just let the whole body release down into this posture. So while we're accessing the meridians of the kidney on the inside leg, of course, we also have the downward flow of the meridian energy along our backs. These are the bladder meridians there. Notice what happens if you bring your chin a little bit closer to your chest. So you really lengthen the back of your neck and allow your head to get heavier. And here you can really imagine your thoughts just dripping off as the water does if you go into the forest on these November days. There's often a lot of moisture on the leaves, and sometimes it seems as if it's raining, but it's just the remnants of this moisture dripping down. So your thoughts similarly can just drip down into the earth. Notice your breath, and if there's a deeper breath coming, just allow it to be. So I mentioned recently that we need to sometimes just stay in the swamp, just go a little bit deeper, and it's beyond that, beyond where the mind wants to lead us, that we can find a sense of peace, and sometimes also a sense of reconciliation with ourselves. Be aware of any sensation. And then very, very gently come back up into a seated position. You might notice a lightness around your head. And then bring your blanket to one side. You won't need that for the moment unless you'd like to cover yourself. And then we're going to take the bolster and bring it underneath the pelvis. So you might want to lie back, place the bolster underneath your pelvis. Could also be a thick cushion, like one of these couch cushions. And then stretch out your legs. So the legs stay outstretched, the arms on either side. Now be mindful here of your lower back. So if there's any tweaking, then you might want to bend your knees and tweak where the bolster lies. So your shoulder blades are on the ground, the arms outstretched, palms facing up. And allow your chin to come in towards your chest so that we're really lengthening again the back of the neck. So bladder meridian here. And at the same time, we're opening the front body. So where we trace the kidney meridian up, of course it goes down deeper, but along beside the navel and then up towards the collarbones. And again, I'll mind the time, so see if you can relax into this posture. And as you do so, allow your breath to enter deeply into the abdomen, the lower abdomen. So it's really as if your belly were sort of heaving with each inhale, opening up. And then it moves back in towards the spine on every exhale. Again, release the tongue, so allow the tongue to rest down in the base of your mouth. And whenever you feel yourself drawn back to thinking about the day or thinking about what happened or what you felt like or what you're going to do afterwards, let a deep inhale come into your abdomen and follow that breath. As you know, by staying in postures, we allow the body to reorganize itself, the fascia to reorganize itself. Sometimes it's seen as a bodily fluid, belongs to the liquids in some body systems. So wherever it might be stuck and create tension, by staying or remaining in a pose, we give it the possibility to smooth out, as it were. And then if there's any readjusting you'd like to do as your body relaxes down, then feel free to do that. And sometimes when we stay a little bit longer, we notice sensations that weren't there before. So you could sense something in your knees, in your pelvis, in your lower back. Just observe them and know that just as they surfaced at a certain moment, they will also disappear again. And then one last deep breath here. And then place your feet on the ground. Very, very carefully lift your pelvis. Push the bolster away from underneath you. And then just take a moment to lie without any support, legs outstretched, arms outstretched. And here notice possibly how the breath not only moves into the abdomen but also fills the whole of your chest, a natural deep breath. Whenever you feel the desire, you can also exhale through an open mouth, maybe even with a sigh. And then from here, very lazily turn over to one side and come up to a seated position. And here we're going to use our blanket again just to lift the hips up a tiny little bit. You can have a bolster or your block nearby to place your head on. So we're going to bend the left knee and put it to the inside thigh. And then let the right leg, sorry, I'll turn towards you, might be easier to see. So the right leg moves out diagonally towards the right. Left foot in towards the pelvis. Now, if you feel your left knee needs support, you could also place a block underneath the left knee. And then we're going to turn towards the outstretched right leg. And then on the exhale, move the upper body down. So a forward fold here. You could always place a bolster on the outstretched leg and then allow your head to rest down on the bolster. And notice as you're going down to keep your shoulders away from your ears. So really relax the shoulders. They tend to love to hunch up towards the ears, but we'll allow them to go all the way back. Of course, this posture can also be done without any assistance. And you'll be leaning on your lower arms. And you'll notice a stretch in the bent leg, so in your left leg, the inside seam into the groin, and also all along the left side body. And see if you can find that depth of breathing here in the abdomen again. You might even want to curl the head just a little bit more. So remember the bladder meridian here moving down the back body. So see if you want to curl that just a little bit more. Chin in towards your chest. And again, sometimes the breath will come in like a wave and go deeper. Just follow it. So if we keep this image of staying in the swamp, just allow yourself to go in deeper. There's nothing else to do. And then very gently come back up. So allowing your hands to lift the body up. So your hands against the ground will allow the body to come up. And then take a moment here, just in the upward stance, and observe. So there's always a lightness that happens. There's always sort of an uplifting after we've gone down deep and allowed ourselves to go down deep. So we're going to move straight to the other side. So switch legs, bring the right foot in towards you, left leg out towards the side diagonally to readjust your seat. And then same thing here, we're coming into a forward fold. I'll mind the time, use your bolster if you need to, or come down without any support. So upper body turns first towards the leg, and then just let your head release down. So each side will feel slightly different. So luckily we only have two sides. If we had more, it'd be quite more complicated story, but you'll notice that this side towards the left might be a little bit different. Maybe easier to get into, maybe more difficult. You might have to adapt the way your arms are, your bolster. And then again, try and curl the chin in just that little bit more towards your chest so that the neck gets a beautiful stretch, the occipital ridge gets a stretch. You can always bring your awareness to the point that we massaged at the beginning, the bubbling spring in the ball of your foot. If you notice any connection, and then one more deep breath here. And then when you come up, resist the temptation to lift the head, but just push into your hands and keep the head down till the very, very last. And then allow the head to rise from your sit bones. Beautiful. And now we'll just take a moment on our backs. So put your blanket to one side and then come to lie on your back again with your feet out to the side, your arms out to the side, not touching the body. See what's happened here. So where you feel sensations without wanting to define them, but just sort of be curious as to what has happened now. You might sense the groin, side body, lower back. You might notice your sacrum is more present. And then gently bend your knees, bring them in towards your chest. Your knees come over to one side, and then coming up again, you allow all your weight to go into the hands. So the head is not leading here, but the hands are. Super. And then from here, we're going to take our bolster and lay it across the mat and lie down so that our chest is on the bolster. So it's just where the lower ribs begin. Chest is on the bolster, and if you can, the elbows come forward. So there's a gentle pressure here, right where the kidney meridian comes up along the chest. If you have glasses on, you can take them off, and then just bring your thumbs, so your elbows on the ground, they go around the bolster. Bring your thumbs to the inside edge of the eyes where your eyebrows start. So it's basically the hollow of the eye. And then here you can just allow your head to fall into your thumbs, and your thumbs are going to give a special sort of still massage, a pressure against the inside here of your eye socket. So this is a very useful point if you would like to relax your eyes. And it's one of the points along the bladder meridian, so it's bladder 2. If you're allowing your head to move into your thumbs. Your legs are long. There's a very gentle back bend, and at the same time the pressure in the front will give us a big release here. Curl your tongue up and bring it to the upper palate, middle of the upper palate. Ketchari Mudra. This will release the jaw. At the same time, this point also relates back down to the coccyx, the base of the body. And again, observe the breath. Allow it to enter deeply at some times whenever you feel the urge. It's also a great point to pressurize or massage if you have headaches. So you can relieve headaches. tongue to the middle of the upper palate, and notice where else you feel that in the body. And then gently release the hands, and you can bring the bolster a little bit further down, sort of just at the bottom edge of your ribs, just about where the stomach is actually, if this feels okay. If not, leave it where it was, and then just allow your head to come down onto the ground, onto your hands. So it's nearly as if we were doing the opposite of the one of the postures we started with. Be mindful of the stomach. If it feels uncomfortable, bring the bolster just a little bit up. So we're gently exerting a little bit of pressure here on stomach and spleen on the right hand side. On the left hand side, on the liver, gallbladder, pancreas in the center. So it could feel slightly uncomfortable, not the most favorite pose maybe. And then gently come back up. Bring the bolster slightly away from you. Okay, to the side, bring it to the side. Hands come to the front of the mat. Fingertips facing outwards, and we're going to come up into what's called seal. So, and to stretch your arms. We're not going to stay here too long. So this is an excellent posture here for the kidneys. Now watch your shoulders, might want to lean up towards the ears. See if you can draw them back. If you were drawing back your wings from the trapezius, from the back of the shoulders all the way down to the sacrum. So those can be seen as our wings, or the expanse of our wings. Now you can always, if this is too much pressure on the lower back, you can always bend your elbows and just stay in a sort of wide-armed sphinx. And if it's okay, just join me here for a couple more minutes. Or not a couple more minutes, just about 30 seconds. Okay, not too long. So we're going to allow the kidneys then to be flushed out. So they have slight pressure here in the back. So they're being squeezed, the kidneys that draw and cleanse the blood. So they have this energy of just attraction, as it were. Also where we often store our fear. Maybe also the fear of going deep, of facing parts of ourselves. And then gently come back, so allow the upper body to come down. Place your left cheek onto your right hand and let the head look towards the right. Let your heels fall out to the side. whole body to release now. And then gently lift your head. Place your left hand upon your right cheek on the left hand. Head moves towards the left. And gently come back, bring your hands underneath the shoulders. Come up onto all fours, and then just for a moment here into child's pose, you could place your head on your block, the forehead on the block. Allowing the back body now to expand, kidneys to expand, the wings on your back to expand. Again, notice your jaws, make sure they're relaxed. The tongue can always move up to the upper palate if that feels comfortable for you. And then gently come back up. Take your blanket and find your comfortable position. You could even, if you wanted, place your bolster underneath your knees for Shavasana, or you can decide just to lay flat, cover yourself up. Just make sure you're really nice and cozy. And then lie down, arms outstretched, legs outstretched. If you have something to cover your eyes, it's wonderful to do so. Just allow the body now to feel and, in fact, process all it needs to. So whatever's there, you can succumb to it. body's like landscapes that we can discover again and again every day. They work in their own time. They change in ways we cannot anticipate. All with this wonderful intelligence called life. So allowing the feet, the legs, the knees to relax down completely. The hip sockets, your pelvis, the sacrum, lower back, upper back, the back of your neck, the back of your head, your forehead, the points that we touched in the eye socket by your eyebrows, and to help your eyes relax, your nostrils relax, your whole face relax, your throat, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, the whole front of the body all the way down to the toes, the whole back of the body all the way down to the heels. Completely relaxed, completely